Now, this is Crysis 2.
Achieved with CryEngine 3.
Now, the biggest mistake that I think that they made with Crysis 2 was releasing Crysis 2 before releasing Crysis 1 on the consoles. If they had released Crysis 1 on the consoles before Crysis 2, and they had given Crysis 1 some form of multiplayer mode, which is probably the reason why they released Crysis 2. Crysis 2 was designed to kind of be like Call of Duty. But if they had released this game on the console after Crysis, they could have at least allowed people to have some understanding of the game that they were playing. Furthermore, even if they weren't going to add a multiplayer mode to Crysis 2, what they could have done, well, not Crysis 2, but if they weren't going to add a multiplayer to Crysis, what they could have done was release Crysis 1 along with Crysis 2 at the same time, and just allowed you to pay a little bit more to have two different games. But what they did was they released Crysis separately after they released Crysis 2, and they released Crysis 2 with its multiplayer in order to try to hook people in. That was a huge mistake, because the problem was, newcomers to the genre, newcomers to the game, they had no idea why it was that they were supposed to be playing this game in the first place, because they didn't understand the story. So let's begin. I can get rid of this. I'm gonna go to campaign. I played through this game on my laptop, but apparently when you play through it on your laptop, it doesn't carry over to the desktop from Steam, so whatever. New campaign. I can play, Post-Human Warrior? I can do that just to show you how difficult the game is. So, it says, by starting a new game, you'll lose all your progress. Yeah, whatever. I don't care. Because I've already got this game saved up on my laptop.
So, Gary, who do you like?
Well,
so here's the problem.
I like what I'm seeing here in New York. They got a pretty strong team as usual. That's in the Eastern and the Western. I'm like in San Francisco,
right now.
but with Los Angeles
First of all,
as the sleeper.
you've got UFO sightings.
So we're looking at New York, San Francisco in the finals, or possibly LA.
Information that claims that there's been UFO sightings. Now, normally the government would be brushing all this shit under the rug and not telling you anything.
Thanks for the workout.
But they're talking about there being fucking UFOs right now.
Down at the help desk.
So you take that how you want. Now, I'm a strong believer. I love science fiction. I love Star Trek, Babylon 5. I like the idea that there's aliens out there, but I personally cannot believe that spaceships have come to Earth just yet. There's no evidence that I can point to that would allow me to believe it. So the whole point of this game is that aliens have come to the Earth, or that aliens were on the Earth, and that they've released a plague against humanity. Fast forward to 2020, Donald Trump's America. Now, gas prices aren't $3.75, so I'd say gas prices are low. Coming Donald Trump's America, countries are in quarantine, as you can see, all these countries are in quarantine. And then on top of being under quarantine, there's an alien plague that is ravaging people. Today, as of, what is this, Thursday, April 30th, today, there's 230,000 people dead worldwide. And on top of that, New York has the largest number of deaths in America. And right now, we are approaching, we're approaching 70,000 dead. Right now, we just passed 60,000, but we're up another 2,000 already. So, there's a plague, we're under quarantine, and the Navy's releasing shit about UFOs. And you have to wonder, it's like, why the fuck are you telling us about UFOs if there's nothing we can do about it, number one? And second of all, you're telling us about UFOs during a time when even the most advanced technology in the Air Force can't even follow a goddamn
So what's the word?
And they got a
Sit till we get orders to
showing
deploy.
us UFOs
Kill us some bad guys.
like there's something we can do about
Suck it up, Marine.
So,
there's no
they're
bad
trying to
guys
say
up there,
aliens
folks.
exist.
Keep telling you, this is strictly humanitarian crisis. Ebola or some such shit. Tell him, Alcatraz.
Alcatraz, you talking much this morning. Contrary to popular belief, people, the key is not good for your health. That's the facts right now. So, as you can see, first of all, the people in the game, CryEngine looks pretty decently. But anyway, the issue that I have is that the people really
you don't call Force Recon for an EMAT evac. They're bad guys up there.
Real. Like this white man, this black guy.
Get the hell off.
Listen up, Marines. Time to go get this Dr. Gould. Get your asses forward. Get scuba gear on. 10 minutes. Weapons prep.
What I remember, Crysis had better motion capture.
I told you. You don't take out the Ebola virus with an M16.
Yeah, just don't shoot this Gould, okay?
So, the technology
Man, I heard it was an alien invasion.
Because this game could have been made in 2007.
Legal aliens.
They didn't want to make this game in 2007. They made Crysis.
What the fuck was that?
So, as you can see, get out, people! Back up!
Abandoned ship. Repeat. Abandoned ship. Catastrophic hull breach. Control. We are hit. Repeat. We are hit. Abandoned ship.
Why? Right away. I didn't have to wait for the game to
Hell happened here, man.
Hatch is under. Gotta die. It's jammed. Give me some help there.
But this game is jammed. And they want you to follow the suit. Much long. You may or may not want to. Not happy. Most players weren't happy. Anybody who played Crysis 2 before they played Crysis most likely didn't understand why this game was hated so badly. And I've been noticing that there's a lot of videos talking about why this game has been hated so much. But they don't understand it because even I didn't understand it until I actually played Crysis. When you play Crysis 2, you understand real quickly that this game is too limited, and they're forcing you to go along with the story and narrative that you may or may not want to go along with. So, here we are, we abandoned the ship. As you know, it's right now a regular
Bacon, man.
person, and I don't have a
Alcatraz
suit. I'm a regular Marine in a fucking submarine, no less. In New York,
What happened, please?
I didn't know.
Just don't touch him.
But
Hey!
here's the thing.
Looks like
I'm a
Lady
regular
Liberty
person.
took some heavy
I have
fire.
no face. I have no voice. And you don't know what I sound like.
Yeah, she's still standing though.
When the suit is given to me, which you'll see in a minute, that's when the game starts to change.
What the hell?
There's aliens underwater. The aliens break my tongue. Now the aliens inside waste their time and energy killing a bunch of so the aliens, and they basically, the whole point of this is to show you that the aliens kill me from the very beginning of the game, and I would be dead in a very quickly amount of time if it wasn't for the nanoseconds. So the whole point of this game is you start the game basically with 1 foot in the grave. Then you're introduced to the main character, the leader, the black guy, Prophet, at the start of the game. I have to say, I am very impressed with the black guy. We have black male protagonist versus a bunch of other dudes. In the first game, you were a white male.
Where's my support?
Who's a white male.
Where's the
This
sub?
game decided to make it about black male. So I
Okay,
have
sub,
to
took you all out.
as a black guy.
I can't
Now,
be.
does race
Who's
politics
counting on
really
us?
matter? I don't really think it
Alcatraz?
matters, but
That's your name?
it's kind of important
Alcatraz.
to understand the world.
Destiny's a bitch, huh?
Where race
It'll
still
be on you now,
factors.
son.
In this game, it's not about white versus black, or North Korean versus white, or European versus North Korean, whatever. This game is about aliens versus humans. That in and of itself has a level of racism attached to it. Because you're fighting for race, or people. You're fighting either aliens or you're fighting humans. So there is always going to be some level of racism attached to the game. What I've noticed is that this is in, it's not in full screen mode because I didn't bother to change the graphics setting. That really doesn't matter. You know, when you watch it, it may come out one way, it may come out another, but when I start the gameplay, I'll try to change it to full screen mode. But it really, again, it really doesn't matter. But in this game, they want you to be invested in the abilities that the suit gives you. In this game, the suit is streamlined so that it makes more sense to play with the controller. The shoulder buttons are pulling the arm which allow you to quickly turn on the arm. The problem that I had in this game, when you first start out, you don't have a cloak mode, and you don't even have an armor mode. The game wants to teach itself to you by making you rise to a challenge to understand how to cloak, how to put on armor. annoys me about this game is that all of the enemies are heavily armored, helmeted soldiers. There's no racism like there was in the first game. I actually appreciate it when you know there was somebody I appreciate it when the people have a language, they have a culture, and they have an identity, a racial identity. I actually appreciate the game when it's done. They took that away in Crysis 2. The only people that you fight are white males. It's called the white males. I appreciate the games that have lore, and I appreciate games that give you some level of identity with people. Because in the future, there's still going to be ethnic identity. There's still going to be racial identity. There's still going to be nationalistic identity. But in this game, racism that they want to show is daily. So I'm a little disappointed. When I first played this game, I know Crysis after this game is shit. And you'll see why in a second. So I'll stop talking. Music for they want you to be invested in the fact that you have this feeling of power. And that power is given to you by Prophet, who's going to put this suit on me as soon as the game loads up. So, this game is a lot more hand-holding. It plays a lot more like Call of Duty. There's a lot more scripted events. And it's not as exciting because you can't go about as many different avenues to achieve the goals that you want to achieve as the original game. Most of you have probably played Crysis 2 and Crysis 3 because those games were big on the consoles for a while. And I'm pretty sure anybody who played the original Crysis was interested to play Crysis 2 and 3 because they wanted to see if the games got any better. So these games, there's a lot of philosophy going into these games. Most of it really doesn't matter. Most of this game is designed to be a you versus the aliens game. So as you can see, this is Prophet who had to kill himself in order to get the nanosuit to inject his body miraculously. And now I have the suit, and I have to sit through all these fucking
this is all I can do.
Which I don't want to sit through.
It's all
in order to
I can do for any of us.
Going on in the story.
You're my last
Crysis
shot here.
Saved me
Gould's last chance.
He puts the suit onto my
last
body.
chance for all of us.
The suit has regenerative properties. It regenerates the wounds that I got from the aliens.
I'm a dead man walking. I'm
contaminated. Then he has to kill himself in order to sever the mental connection.
You can finish this thing. You have to.
And this game has a customizable weapon system just like the original game. So the suit is now on my body.
Welcome to the future, son.
He has committed suicide.
Welcome to the war.
So they want you to be invested in the fact that
last wish.
He had
won't let me go that easily.
For me, it's coronavirus here in New York in 2020.
Gotta break the link.
But for him, there's an unnamed virus killing people.
I gave you the suit. Gave you my life.
Which
promise. Fine. It's all I can do now.
The suit should have been able to heal.
Are all I can do.
Because the suit won't allow you to die.
They used to call me Prophet. Remember me.
Inside in order to give it the mass that it needs to move around. Because ultimately it's an empty suit without you. So they give you a gun. Gun is fucking out of ammo. So I can't do shit. Now, if you look at the weapon wheel allows me to customize it. But it's locked. I have a locked pistol silencer, I have a locked pistol sight. In Crysis, weapons were not locked. The only way a weapon was locked is if you had not achieved that weapon yet by killing somebody and taking the weapon from them. My weapons should not be locked, but they are. So that's part of the thing that people had against this game. They're gonna give me a fucking gun, and I can't do shit with it. As far as my suit abilities, I haven't learned them yet, so I cannot cloak. I cannot turn on my armor. I cannot even use my nanovision yet. I can't see with my binoculars. Nanovision, can't see it. Suit customization obviously is locked as well. I have 900 of these things called nanocatalysts, but you might as well call them points. And in order to buy more points, I have to kill aliens and take their nanocatalysts. The most important nanocatalyst is Stealth Enhance, which allows me to cloak for longer. Then there's Armor Enhance called Deflection, which allows me to block more bullets and block more explosives. So basically, it makes sense. Mobility Enhance allows you to run faster, run further, without draining your suit power. And then there's Cloak Enhance, which allows me to walk further, walk faster, without draining my suit power. And then the nano suit also has Threat Traces, which allow me to see what direction that an enemy is shooting at me from by showing me these little lines on the screen. So I can't even show you any of this technology because all of it's locked from the get-go. But strangely enough, you start with 900 nanocatalysts. So the question to me is, if Prophet had the suit, Prophet was kicking alien ass, why is it that the suit has locked abilities? Prophet should have powered the suit up all the way. Why is it that I have to do it? But again, it's because of the gameplay. They want you to be invested in learning the suit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my controller, and I'm not going to play with the keyboard and mouse, because it's actually a lot easier to run around with the controller. I can dash just like I would in Call of Duty playing Call of Duty with a controller. I can dash around by pushing in the left thumbstick. I can duck by pushing right. They want you to walk around and find items, so this is how they get you to understand that if you hold X, you can find items and you can unlock secrets. Call of Duty wants you to find dog tags and stuff like that. So as you can see, we got body bags piling up just like New York right now, because my pathetic government wasn't prepared for this crisis. As much as Trump tries to claim that he's prepared, and as many times as Sean Hannity wants to say, oh, Trump was the fastest response ever, that's all bullshit. It's a lie. And if you repeat a lie long enough, these stupid fucks believe the lie. But I'm not a stupid person. I actually have a quite high IQ. So, bottom line is, I'm sitting in quarantine right now in New York City. And I am sitting in New York. And we have an alien plague called coronavirus. Which, you know, depending upon your definition of alien, it came from China, so technically it is alien.
I don't know
bottom line is,
but they're coming for you.
The details of this game
those
are very similar to the details of my life right now. Except what Crysis doesn't allow you to do is sit on a computer most of the day trading stock. Like, I have bought into the banks, I bought into the cruise industry, I bought into the airline industry, everything that was doing well for me. So now they've introduced me to New York. New York is not as graphically beautiful as Crysis 1's Lingshan Island. And they want me to be invested in this. They want me to be excited. So what the game does is it introduces you to the nano suit by saying, okay, push up to open your visor. Now keep in mind, in the original game, I didn't have access to any of this stuff the way that they want me to learn it. They're teaching me the game, and the first level is basically a tutorial. They show me that I have an empty gun, I have to find my weapons, and if I don't find my weapons, I have to go one-on-one, hand-to-hand combat with the enemy. I don't want to do that. I want to get my weapons up to speed, and I want to be able to have the freedom to do what I want to do. This game doesn't give you that.
All over downtown.
I can walk around and look at me.
I'm sending you my coordinates.
Obviously, they get my bullets. It's kind of strange. They want you to tag highlighted items so that you'll remember them later. And if you remember to come back to them, the computer will also tell you a little bit about those things. If I tag the enemies, it allows my GPS to track the enemies. So what I want to do is I want to get down here. I don't have my armor, I don't have my cloak yet, so I can't fight these guys right away. Not like I could in the original game. So here's my gun. I have to hold X. Everything is told to me like I'm a fucking idiot. I have to hold X to resupply ammo. I cannot cloak yet, so I don't have those options yet. I have to figure out a way to sneak up on these guys and kill them. So game's trying to teach me about stealth even before I have access to stealth. Alright, so I think I've made my point clear. Now, I don't feel like sneaking up on these guys, but I have no choice. They will see me. The threat detector says they see me. So once they see you, if you don't move around quick enough, kill these guys, they will sneak up on you. This game does not have a very aiming system like the original game does. It's got this fucking triangle. I don't like the triangle. I don't now see in the original game. Look, this guy's already throwing fucking things. In the original game, on the backs of the I can stuff right up to this guy. In this game, I have to take my time and sneak up on him because I can't do it as I want. And the problem is, with a mouse and keyboard, it's actually easier to play this game. It's easier to aim. The thing about it is, this game has been actually designed for you to run it using the joypad. Because, where is the guy's body? I want to move him before he's where I killed him. I'm sure he's here somewhere. But, oh, here he is. So now you pick up his gun. Now I have access to a machine gun, right? Which is strange because I distinctly remember that Crysis, when Crysis 2 started, the guy was carrying around a fucking big machine gun, but now I don't have access to it. So what I'm supposed to do is I'm supposed to push the back button in order to see what kind of armor upgrades I have. And if I want to see my weapon, I think I'm supposed to push... What am I supposed to push? I'm supposed to push... I think, what is it? A, B... X? No, it's not X. Oh, I think I pushed the back. If I push the back button twice. No? Oh, if you push and hold the back button, it gives you access to your weapon. So push and hold this. What I can do is I can use any of the technology that this this soldier here, this helmeted soldier had. So I want to add a silencer to it. Everything else is locked. I could have used a light shotgun. I could have used a reflex sight. But that's all I have access to, and I guess they did that in the very beginning because they knew that, you know, aiming is really hard. So here's the thing, because aiming is so slow with this controller, what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to put my controller down and I'm going to go back to using my mouse and keyboard. See, that right there is what is my problem with this game. So you have two Scarabs, that's the name of the gun, and this is my gun. I can zoom in, but my problem is it's just not as open as the original Crysis was. They're going to teach me how to use cloak in a second with a scripted event. Then they teach you how to use the armor mode with another scripted event. And at that point, the game becomes extremely linear, and the entire game starts to basically play the same way. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to enter this room, and now I have to hide at the checkpoint and wait for the game to show me how to use the cloak. So there's a scripted event. Override. Like, I want to be overridden when I'm playing the goddamn game. I don't. I want to play the game. But this is the tutorial I did not ask for. But they're trying to teach me everything as if I'm a stupid kid playing a console and I'm retarded. Halo didn't do that to you. Even the original Halo was designed for a computer player to learn the game. So once you sneak up on this guy, I have a choice. I can shoot him in the back, or I can stealth kill him. B is stealth kill. Stealth kills in this game are pretty good. If you stealth kill, nobody can see you stealth kill, which I find odd that these guys don't notice that their friends are disappearing and not answering their radios. But again, just like the original game, every now and then, you're going to have to pop out of your cloak mode. Because if you don't pop out of cloak mode, you're going to run out of power, and if you run out of power, this is so confusing. Okay. So I have to turn off my cloak so I can build up my energy. Notice that the energy meter has been combined into a single meter, so it's no longer energy plus health. The thing that annoys me about that is that a single meter means that as soon as your meter gets all the way down to 0, you're basically dead if you get shot one more time. Here's the thing, if this suit is so powerful, why is it that it gets killed so simple? it's a body armor. The body armor doesn't get killed that easily. So I point my gun at the guy. I could stealth kill him. Yeah, stealth kill won't allow me to be. Then I'll stab and I'll shoot the other guy instead of this. See, look how small this level is. All the levels are tiny, and I don't have as many options as I have to approach in the gameplay. The enemies are not as exciting. They're not ethnic. They're just white guys with suits. Good night, stupid asshole. Now, there is a physics engine in place here. It's
listen.
There's still no gore.
Outside the evac center.
I wish there was gore.
You have to get here. I don't
should
know
be
how
able to
long
blow
I can now.
I can shoot barrels to blow them up. So, I have my cloak. And the cloak allows me to say, okay, I'm going to jump over. And I'm going to go and fight the next wave of enemies, right? And by the way, this is Delta level difficulty, so the enemies are quite difficult. So, I can either throw a grenade at them, which I forgot how to do, or I can just shoot the shit out of them. Yeah, you see? As soon as I get shot, my fucking health goes right to critical. So every single gunfight, it involves you hiding. Now, this is something that the people who enjoy Doom love about the game Doom. Doom is not about you hiding and seeking cover. Doom is about you being as aggressive as possible and fighting people as quickly as possible and as violently as possible. Which I understand why people enjoy Doom a lot more than they enjoy other games. I understand that there's a whole different philosophy going on there. My thing is, I like the Crysis series for looking the way it looks and for looking different. Doom is good, but a lot of things in Doom don't make sense either. Now, as you can see, maximum graphics, we have these long draw distances in places I cannot go. We have shadows, which means to me, NVIDIA has ray tracing on consoles now, and my video card is a 2080 Ti, which is supposed to be the absolute best ray tracing graphics card. But my thing is, we already had shadow technology. This game is old. This game came out after Crysis, and this game at this point is like 10 years old. We had shadow technology. We had now, let's see, can I blow up a tree? Can I shoot a tree? Crysis allowed me to tear these trees apart. I can't do that here. Now, as you can see, I have a threat tracer on, and the threat tracer is allowing me to see where the threat is coming from, right? So watch this. I'm going to turn on my cloak. He can't see me. I'm going to walk right around him. And that's what this game allows you to do. This game allows you to pick and choose your battles, just like the original game does. Except the other game is so open until you could walk a half a mile away from the guy and they'd never know you were there unless the game forced you to come into contact with people. This game forces you to come in contact with just about everybody just by making maps. Right? So my whole thing is I walk right up to people and blow them away. And I have to say, the music in this game was really good. And it's very energy pumping music, I would say, and it gets better as you go along because the music starts to play as soon as you get into a violent gunfight. I can grab barrels and I can hit people with the barrels of them. But right now, I'm just murdering people with this gun. One of the other things that annoys me is that the drivable vehicles, obviously in the original Crysis, like you could get on a vehicle and you can use it. I'm not going to do that just yet because if I do, I'll get killed by it. Look at that. Everybody's encased in fucking body. You know. Another threat over here. I didn't even know he was there. So basically, unless you stay cloaked, your ass is dead. You have to stay cloaked. You know? Now, you can choose to go up against them with the armor, just like you could in the first game. But the thing about it is, these guys are way more sophisticated now. So, my thing is, I gotta sneak up to somebody, take his ammo, because I'm out of ammo, or I use my visor, and if I use my visor, I might be able to see where there's tactical opportunity, they call it. Where, as you can see, there's weapons right there. Like it tells you where to look to find bullets. If you look carefully, you can find bullets. Or I can just sneak up on people and kill the shit out of them. But now, I will say this. This game, again, is a way more optimized for you to use a controller. Let me see. Where's yeah. But I don't have all of my features yet. I don't have the armor mode yet. So I can get here, grab this guy's gun, I can take his ammo, and then I can modify his gun to suit my purposes. So when I get here, I have to open up my modification weapon menu, and then I throw in my silencer so that this way it makes it harder for me to know where I am. Go on my reflex sight, and I'm ready to rock. All I gotta do is figure out where these guys are, and this is the reason why they want you to approach every target by scanning them first. So they want you to scan them, so this way it's easier to track them. So once you have them locked in, track these guys. Push F. Okay, so he's a hostile. That guy right there is a hostile. This guy's a hostile. So I got a bunch of hostiles around. And you track them. And then, after you lock them in, that's when you can decide methodically how you want to go about killing them. There's a lot of guys here. However, I can decide I'm not going to fight any of them. And I can say, you know what? I'm just going to sneak around. I'm just going to sneak right around them, and I'm just going to leave. And that's one of the things that is good about like the Far Cry games. They always usually gave you that opportunity of being able to avoid a conflict altogether. Look, ammo here, ammo. And then I'm just going to sneak at it. So most games don't give you that option. Most games want you to fight everybody. I have no choice but to fight this guy. As soon as I open up on him, everybody else is going to be alerted that this is where I am. So now they're going to come and they're going to try to fight me. Now, had this been the original Crysis, I'd probably be able to use maximum strength, jump on top of this, and then jump on top of that. But as you notice, they've specifically made it difficult for me to jump on certain obstacles, which the original Crysis made it so I could jump on buildings. Oh shit! And I don't have the armor mode yet. So because I don't have the armor mode, I have to fight these guys real carefully. And that's not fair because the original Crysis didn't do that to me. If I had armor, it'd be so much easier to take these guys on. But I can't take these guys on that easily. I have to kill them as they come towards me. And I have to be methodical, otherwise I get killed. Just like this guy right here. Pop him in the head. A headshot is basically the only way you can realistically kill these guys. Like, I have an uncle who's a police officer, and I was showing him gameplay of Alien vs. Predator back in 1999. And he thought the game was cool, but he didn't like the fact that every time I would shoot somebody, I would do a headshot. And I guess maybe as a cop, he'd seen so many people get killed by being shot in the head. I guess maybe he just got triggered by the fact, like maybe he had post-traumatic stress or something, I don't know. But the bottom line is, in these games, you're taught to kill these people using a headshot. And if you don't shoot them in the head, they will have the option to return fire on you. But here's my thing. What's the point of shooting somebody in the head if you don't get to either blow their head off or see the gore that's coming out of their body like you could in Soldier of Fortune? In Soldier of Fortune, I could blow somebody's brains out. Like, it was ridiculous. You could shoot intestines out of a person with a shotgun. You could blow their brains out. It was ridiculous. And the thing about it is it actually made you know, more reflective of the violence. Because the violence is violence, but when it looks better, it actually looks more realistic, and it allows you more to buy into the game. You know?
So much for containment.
It's not that you want to be violent, because I have the option to sneak up on people and kill them silently using stealth kills, which you're actually rewarded for, because if you do a stealth kill, you basically get bonuses for stealth kills.
That's an odd question if you don't live in California.
But I would like the ability to have the option from my explosive weapons to do that. Like you get rewarded for stealth kills because nobody knows that you're there, and by nobody knowing that you're there, it makes it easier to actually play the game, right? But as soon as you open fire on somebody, everybody knows that you're there, which means that now you're gonna get attacked. And when you get attacked, it's like you're gonna most likely get killed.
Restart. Pre-purge active.
Right. So again, here we have a room that locks me in the room. It doesn't allow me to move as quickly as I want to move. And it just makes the game not as fun as
system shutdown commencing.
What the fuck happened? Okay, force one. Alright. So the game, you know, I mean, it's a good game. It looks good for a console game. But to tell you the truth, the game looked better as Crysis. It didn't look good as Crysis 2. I think that if they had used the Crysis game engine and gave us New York, I think it would look a hell of a lot better than this. And this is good. These are good graphics, don't get me wrong. It's just that it could have been so much better if they would have given the game what they wanted. Look at all the body bags. This is New York in 2020. Amazing, isn't it? It looks just like it does now. All these body bags. Right now, there's a lot of healthcare personnel who are suffering from post-traumatic stress disorder because they've never seen this many people get killed. What is that yellow option? I don't know what the yellow is, but that must have been something that I left behind and just didn't choose to do. There's ammo and weapons everywhere because, again, this is a quarantine and New York has been has been taken over by these troopers who have these suits and stuff on. So they're called Cell. So New York's been basically taken over by them, and I'm trying to make my way to this guy Gould, Dr. Gould.
I think it's back now, but you better get here fast. Everything's falling apart.
Yeah, no shit.
All over the place. Bastard.
Trump's America. Everything's falling apart. So now is another scripted sequence where they're about to teach me how to use armor.
Stick to the subways. It's got to be safer than the streets.
But up until I get the armor mode, I don't have armor mode. So let's see. Use this laptop. You do that, you unlock secrets. So I might as well do that now because, you know, unlocking secrets for later. If I ever choose to play through this game again, but I already did it on my laptop, so I doubt that I'll ever play through this game again. Alright, so once you get up here, now there's a goddamn system override, and now I'm being taught how to use armor mode. So it says push Q, armor mode.
Armor alters the nanosuit's surface to absorb damage and increase operator survivability in combat. Armor mode requires suit energy. Improves probability of survival near exploding munitions.
So, that's how a typical battle goes. You have armor and you have cloak. So I can cloak myself in order to get near the enemy, and then I can throw on armor mode so that he can't shoot me easily. That's Crysis 2. Once you've gotten that far, let me see. I should have two weapons now. This is the submachine gun weapon, and the submachine gun weapon is a bullpup. All my fucking options are locked except for reflex sight or the laser sight, so I can put on my reflex sight. I always found it easier to play with the reflex sights than the laser sight. But there's very few options because every single level is so small. I can't jump as high as I normally could have in Crysis, even though the jump ability is one of the few abilities that you have early on. But I can now. I have the ability to cloak and run my armor. So if you're using, I just switched. What I do is I just switched to my gamepad because with my gamepad, now I have cloak, I have armor, and it's easier for me to go into cloak and armor using the buttons on the top of the joypad. So this makes playing this game slightly easier. And if I'm not mistaken, it also uses, when I get these grenades here, throwing grenades is also easier. So they say, yeah, use Y, double tap Y to throw grenades. So I can throw grenades at these guys, but what I'm going to do is I'm not going to do that just yet. I'm going to throw on my cloak, change my weapon, and I'm going to observe them. See, in this game, you really get a lot more learning done by observing what the enemy is doing and then killing them one by one systematically. When this guy walks here, in the Crysis 2 under the console, you can wait until the guy gets under this donut, and then you can drop the donut on him, and you get an achievement for that. If I wait, watch this. I'm gonna drop the donut on him. Drop the donut. Got him. So I actually get an achievement for dropping a donut on the guy. Now it's not going to show up here, but you get that in the Crysis 2 on the console. So now I can throw grenades. Double tap Y, find the guy, throw a grenade. Didn't go far enough. Throw another one. Too short. Close. More grenades. Now these guys are coming, and they're getting ready to do battle with me, right? So what I got to do is pop these guys one at a time. Armor them. But guess what? Using my gamepad, way too hard to aim. So I'm not going to do it. I'm going to go back to using my mouse and keyboard because the aiming is so much easier for a long distance shot. So this guy, what I have to do, get ready, throw on my armor, aim at these guys, and then unload them. Armor mode also reduces slower. Armor mode is a lot slower. But you can still get killed. You still get yourself killed if you're not careful. So a lot of times you're forced to engage these guys methodically, either using grenades or using a machine gun. But the interesting thing about it is, if you point at the guy carefully and you take one shot, that's it. That's all you need to do. And if you do that, kill basically 99% of the guys in the game just by throwing on cloak, popping up, pointing at their head, headshot. That's it. That's the only way you can stay alive in this game when you're on the higher level difficulty. And the game basically allows you to just keep doing it. Boom! All of these guys are boring. Their nationalistic identity has been removed. And they're easier than ever to kill. Now, Crysis 3 made it so that they have a bow. And the nano bow allows you to shoot people without breaking your cloak. That completely makes this game easier to play. So, because my problem is balancing cloak and armor mode. But when you have the ability to kill these guys, oh, this is a nano. Oh, these are insects. My bad. I thought those were nano suit points. It's not. Okay. So my thing is, I have to uncloak to get these guys stupid enough to shoot at me. Once they start shooting at me, they're easier to take out because now you know where they are. But in order to easily fight them, you have to let them know where you are so that they all rush your position or try to outflank you somehow. And at that point, all you gotta do is just return fire. A lot of times you don't get as much cover, so when you don't have the cover that you want to have to be methodical, otherwise you get killed really quickly. But most of the time you're just going over to guys, looking at their bodies, and trying to take their weapons, you know, so that you have bullets. That guy did not go down. That is the guy behind me. I gotta run just so I can stay from getting killed. Go into armor mode. Load. Now, they all expect me to be right here. So what I want to do is not be here when they get here. So the guys, as you can see in the threat tracers, they're coming. So they think I'm here. I have to get away from that point and make them think I'm still at that point by not being seen when I move. That allows me to get to a safer position, and that allows me to cloak again. Now I'll go back to my armor mode, let them know where I am, while they're rushing that position. As they move towards that position, you can see their triangles. They're looking for me. They don't know where I am. That guy knows. So I have to kill him. Yep. And basically that's this entire game. No matter which level you're in, no matter what the obstacle is, you can overcome it. It's just that you have to learn how the game works. You have to learn how the artificial intelligence works, and you have to figure out ways to get around the enemy and to kill them before they kill you. So in a lot of ways, this game is a pretty good sandbox. It's just not as open-ended as Crysis 1 was. And that's why a lot of people were disappointed, because they wanted to have more options in how they play. I got these two tools up here. I can't get up there. So what I can do is I can use my cloak to get up here. And then once I'm up here, I can shoot these guys. These two guys. They don't see me. And that's it. I'm dead. So, I mean, listen, if I was really playing this game, you know, to really play it, I wouldn't have this problem. But basically, my whole point of making this video is to show you why this was such a disappointment in some, you know, some people were disappointed, and why Crysis was better. You know, so that's it. You can approach this gameplay however you want to approach the gameplay, but most of the time, all you're really doing is shoot people in the head long range. That's what's amazing. They can't shoot back that well. And the better your guns are, like once you get the sniper rifle, and once you get like the rocket launcher, it's like these guys, it's like they have no chance against you. You know, that's how you know they're dead. But that's the game. I mean, every single battle is you versus them. And it's basically either you're cloaked or you're in armor. Now the music is better. I'll give it that. The music is definitely more involving. The story is more involving. It's not a good story. But ultimately, what people really want is an open-ended sandbox where they can just do whatever they want to do at any given time. Now, as you notice, the tone of the music and the urgency of the music changes as the battle changes. That's a good thing to have dynamic music. That makes the game better. And this was, I have to say, this, as bad as this game gets reviews, as bad as a lot of reviewers say this game is, because of the lack of open-ended ability, this game is still really good. I mean, it's a good tactical shooter that you kind of have to think some of the time. So I can jump down here, or I can jump on that truck. For the most part, the nano suit can absorb just about any fall, so I can't really get hurt by falling because of Call of Duty or even Far Cry games. And if you line these guys up just fine, it'll allow you to kill a lot of guys easily without having to use as much ammunition. So since you never know where the next threat is, unless you've really done a good job surveying the area, a lot of times it just makes more sense to run around in armor mode, or it makes more sense to run around in cloak mode. Because there's really, and there's other ways. I can get up there, just like I did before. I killed one of the snipers. But they really want me to go around the building. They didn't want me to have to actually go up this way. There's other ways up there. Like if I go this way, and I think if I do a running jump, I can get this guy. These guys always expose their head. they never cease to hide their head well enough. So anyway, I'll wait for my energy to rebuild, and I'll hit my cloak, and I'll run. Okay, you know what? I'm not going to even bother with that jump. I don't know if they want you to do that jump. I think they want you to actually fight your way around this corner. So, yeah, Why are you staring at a wall, stupid? Hit this guy, take his gun, take his bullets, whatever you want. Some options allow you to get into the sewers and make your way around these people. Next objective. 100.21 gigawatts. That's a joke from Back to the Future. Let me see if I get hurt when I have my arm on. It says 1.21 gigawatts. Ha ha ha. Very funny. Okay, so anyway. You walk around the guys. You're kept in these enclosed spaces. Oh shit. I think I'm gonna die. Uh-oh. I wasn't supposed to do this. Alright, let me get out of here. So they want me to understand that there's electricity in the water. So that means that what I've got to do is figure out how to turn off the power. So here's the power right here. Pull power switch, boom, turn it off. Now I'm okay. Which is really strange because the nanosuit, in my opinion, should be able to suck energy out of the water that's electrified, but apparently that's not an option. You know, so this is the problem with this game. Every now and then you get into a nice open battle, and you're allowed to see the graphic engine for what it is. But for the most part, you're kept in these enclosed spaces where you don't get to see it. Punch something? Let me use my controller. I think I can get in there with my controller. Jump crouch? Yeah! See, it's so much easier to get in there with my controller. Okay, so when you open the gate, you get in here and you see what New Yorkers look like when they're sick. So basically these people are sick. My nanovision doesn't do anything with them. This barrel's here to explode. If I'm not mistaken, I can't kill these guys.
Prophet?
If I blow that up.
The subway wasn't...
Yeah, it doesn't even phase them. It's like they don't even notice. They don't even notice anything happen.
Down there.
As far as I know, I can't shoot people. Like, why can't I put this guy out of his misery? They're just sitting there like two junkies. Sitting there like two junkies just shaking. You know, it's... Again, this game, it just doesn't give you the, it doesn't give you the freedom. These guys just sitting there shaking. It doesn't give you the freedom. I mean, the game looks good. When this game came out, this was one of the best looking games that there was on the system.
Get off me!
You're supposed to kill these things. And when you kill them, you're able to get points out of their bodies. When you kill these things, you're supposed to be able to get like some points from them. I don't think they started that phase yet where you get the nano points off of them yet. But it's funny, I'm up here shooting a gun, nobody's even reacting to the point that, you know, there's aliens down here, and then on top of that, that I'm walking around with a big gun and I'm shooting. Nobody even seems to notice. That's what's amazing about this game. And they're gonna kill this guy. Scripted sequence.
It's a net.
Oh shit!
Get out of there, Prophet!
Okay. So the aliens are here. If you kill the aliens, and you kill enough of them, like they're walking around. And if you kill them, some of them give you the nanosuit points that allows you to upgrade your nano suit. But only some of them give it to you. Some of them won't. Can I take this guy's gun? Okay. Usually running out of ammo isn't usually a problem in this game because there's ammo like everywhere. These things are smart enough to run with. See, you can sit down here and shoot them, or you can just leave. It's easy to leave. So here's this guy right here. He doesn't even notice me. Yeah. So basically, the video games always knew that there was going to be some kind of killer virus in 2020. But what they didn't know was that it was going to be called coronavirus. They called it Ebola, or they thought it was like Ebola because it was eating them inside out, like a flesh-eating disease. So basically, this is the game. I mean, it continues like this. There's a couple of driving sequences where you're in a tank and you get to shoot people using a tank. And that's supposed to be the virus right there. They're showing you, for you dumbasses who don't pay attention to your science teachers in your schools.
Despite all medical attempts to reverse the effects of the cellular breakdown in the infected, we have found no viable cure. Evacuation is no longer an option. Shoot to kill discretion is now vested citywide, to be exercised upon any suspicion of infection. Further to this, nanosuit subject, Prophet, is also designated as an active biohazard. Prophet is to be shot on site.
That didn't really happen, and they're trying to open New York back up tomorrow, May 1st. So they're trying to open up the economy again so they can get more of us killed. Supposedly, when this first started, Trump claimed that this could last 18 months and that there would be up to 250,000 people dead. They actually said that. They tried to dial back that information because they don't want us panicking, and they want to try to get us to be stupid and go right back to work as quickly as possible. Despite the fact that some of us are going to get sick and die, there's going to be a second wave of deaths, just like with every single other quarantine. They've always seen a second wave of deaths because there's always infected people who you either don't notice right away or who reinfect others because they're acting as carriers. So here, right here is a shotgun. Take that. So take the shotgun. Once you have the shotgun, it gives you access to any of the shotgun technology. So you can put a silencer on your shotgun, you can throw a reflex sight on your shotgun if you feel you need it. But because it has that big circle, you really don't need it because that, the shotgun's reticle allows you to. Let's see, I can power kick this. Yeah, get that out of the way. I got my shotgun. I think I have some bullets in the shotgun. But again, this game is prophetic. It believed that we were going to have some kind of major virus that was going to come around the same time as the alien. And this is the alien right here coming at me. And it didn't kill me. It was being chased by a helicopter. It's spreading the virus. Introducing me to the gameplay of the next level. Now, I have to say, graphics, this has been any other game about Grand Theft Auto game. Graphics are really good. It's just that
Oversight 6 and 7, I have your kill confirmed. Hold station. We're coming in.
Any of these buildings.
Prophet,
I think
you see that? You see that? Must have gone down less than a block from where you are. You do realize what this means, right? This is our chance. This is it. Forget extraction.
Here is $12.99.
Go get samples from the crash. Get them to me here at the lab. This could be our best shot at rolling back the spore. Maybe the whole invasion even. But you better make it fast. Lockhart's going to have cells swarming all over that crash site in nothing flat. Watch your ass, Prophet.
See, this game wants you to look around. This game wants you to take the game slowly so you can look around. Crysis just did it differently, and it did it, in my opinion, it did it a little bit better. You know? Okay, so we got another ammo crate. Ammo, even on the hardest difficulty, there's ammo everywhere. So you shouldn't really run out of ammo once you really learn how to play the game and you understand how to methodically play the game. Like, you're not supposed to be running.
Took half the block down with it. Now they're gonna be really pissed. Oversight. Over there, approach.
Killing these guys is not really that exciting. Certain distances, the shotgun is more effective and less effective. What's interesting is, in real life, a shotgun is actually really lethal at certain distances. It's really, really lethal. Like me, when I go to the gun range, I hate using the shotgun because it does a job on my shoulder. If you're forced to use slugs, it does even more of a job because now you're feeling more of the recoil. So if I go under here, some weapon opportunities right here. There's a pistol right here. Let's see if there's any more weapon opportunities. And this game, all of the cars are Mercedes S-classes, as you can see. All of them are basically Mercedes S-classes. They have that tail light design just like a Mercedes S-class. If I want, I can power kick the car. So, I mean, the game gives you a lot of suitabilities. Like, you can kick a car into somebody and kill them. Like this guy right here. I'm gonna kill him as quickly as I can. And use my armor mode or my cloak mode to sneak around the next guy. Because when these guys have heavy machine guns, you can't fight them because you get killed real quick. Yeah, that's right, you do. So you see these guys up here? They have a heavy machine gun. They don't really want you to fight them, and you can see it's obvious they want you to blow them up. You can see there's tactical opportunities in most cases. So these guys are hiding behind cover. A lot of times it really doesn't make sense to fight them if you don't have to. It actually makes more sense to be methodical. So this, I mean, I have to say, when I first played this game, I was impressed. But when you play Crysis, and you compare it to this game, it's like, it's just not as fun. And it's also not much of a technology demonstrator because this game was designed to run on the Xbox 360, for God's sake. I could understand if the games didn't come out till Xbox One, which had more power. So now I can exchange my Scarab, and if you customize this weapon, not only do you have a silencer, but you can also put on the reflex sight, this semi-automatic option, so I'm going to throw in the silencer, and they also give you a laser sight this time around. I don't usually use the laser sight, so I'll just use the reflex sight. But again, every single battle is no different, really, than the first battle that I took on. Now I can go up a little bit higher, and I can see that this is blocked off. The original Crysis would not have blocked me off. They would have let me go up as high as I want, fight these guys however I want to fight these guys. So, let's duck. Let's charge my energy. Let's get ready to fight these guys. Now, that guy is on the pedestal side. He has the ability to see me better than the other guys. Those guys are usually the guys you should fight first. Now this other guy right here. Up here, they can't hide us. Look at his truck. I'm gonna cloak. I'm gonna throw a grenade right at this guy. That is throwing flares at me. Why are you using a flare to let people know where I am when I'm on top of the building? Now, flare allows this guy down here to come up here and know kind of where I am, but he's not going to take it. That's the whole point. Stay away from the barrels and get blown the fuck up. Wait for the guy to come up here. I'm going to kick this car out. That's what I want to do. I will say the gameplay of Crysis is a little bit... Well, the gameplay of Crysis is as fast as you want it to be. The gameplay of Crysis 2 might be, by some people, considered to be a little bit slower. I'm gonna kick this car right into this. Oh shit, blew up. sad thing is that artificial intelligence, it's not smart enough to mask its body and to hide its body. Once they show up, it's so easy to kill them. You know? And that's, you know, the nanosuit, in my opinion, is strong, but they don't want it to be overpowered. They want to give the enemy a little bit of a chance. The whole point of the nanosuit is to give the enemy as little of a chance as possible. They want you to be as powerful as possible. So these guys are opening fire on you. Point blank range, they can't kill you. I can walk right out in front of them to kill these guys and only use half my energy. They know exactly where I am. They can't do anything about it. As long as you don't let one of these guys get right up on you, they will keep coming after you, coming at you. And the thing about it is you'll kill them one by one. Now watch this guy. I can sneak up on this guy, and I can actually grab this one. I can grab a guy and fucking throw him if I want to. That's pretty goddamn cool. No other game allows you to do that. Halo will allow you to do that. Halo and this game were basically, you know, running against each other. They were competitive. But I always thought that this game gave you so many options. I thought it was a lot of fun. My only thing is, it doesn't control as good as Call of Duty. It's not as tight. If you use the mouse and keyboard, that kind of helps you appreciate that. It doesn't control as tightly as Call of Duty. It's a good game. But I think most of the newer games like Far Cry, most of those games actually control a little bit more tight. But so the question is, should you buy Crysis Remastered? If you have a high-end computer, my guess is that they're going to make Crysis Remastered in a way that basically says, okay, the higher end your computer is, the better shape. Yeah, so basically the higher end your computer is, the better Crysis Remastered is going to look. So the whole point of you buying this game is to test your computer and see how good you can make it look on your computer. So I'm going to just quit right now, because I think you get the gist of it. So, do I recommend Crysis? Yeah. I mean, I like the series. I followed it. The story sucks. It would have been better if they had just kept it about me fighting North Koreans. But I ultimately, if you want this game, yeah, you should probably buy it. It's a good game. Crysis, and when they make Crysis 2 and Crysis 3, I may end up buying them, especially to see what they'll do on my hardware. But that's the gist of the game. You go through the game gunning people down one by one. As you notice, the game is nowhere near as fast as Call of Duty. It's nowhere near as fast as most other first-person shooters that we've been playing recently, like Battlefield. But it's different, and being different means a lot. Nowadays, when you want to show off a game's strengths or its weaknesses, and you want to improve upon those weaknesses that you see in other games by showing off your game's strengths. I like it. Crysis 2 was good for its time, but Crysis, just like Doom, is a classic game, and people are always going to, regard it with reverence because of what it did for the genre when it came out.